The flower's dying. It needs water.
Time has lost its effect on me. But the suffering continues.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I'll never forget anything from her.
But in the circumstances,
So many deaths. And still more.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, I'm so tired. Don't waste your time with you. Will this shift never end?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate.
Not really.
I see. Then maybe...
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk.
Tell me about yourself.
I don't want to talk.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I...
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick.
What can you tell me about...
Not much to say. Just take...
Are you really that rich?
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he...
May I ask?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach...
What do you think of your reception here?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital.
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you?
Yes, and I paid without question.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswell.
I don't expect compensation.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswell.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a
Good evening,
bloody
Doctor.
idiot.
I'm Dr. Reed. I am thorough strict. What can you tell me about...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea.
Do you need help with it?
Well, yes, maybe.
Do you want me to play the...
Oh, no, Dr. Reed. But if you were...
I see. Well, give me the... You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and...
I'm convinced that...
Questions remain about...
True, true. Last summer...
Please, could you tell me something?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion.
What made you choose...
I'm not ashamed to...
I'll give you some advice, but understand that none...
Of course, sir. And don't worry.
I based my technique on my mentor's research.
I'd rather not talk about it.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but
You're not the first one to warn me.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded.
With the influenza and all that's going on?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to...
So you believe it's just a question?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud...
Tell me more about your willingness to expect...
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a...
What is it you really want?
Fair question. I want nothing but...
Tell me, Mr.
Our first diagnosis was compromised,
But why would he harm...
because he is a proud...
This personal involvement...
I agree.
Do you think keeping...
All I know is that I...
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me... What a blundering idiot.
Daily routine.
Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reed?
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly...
Thank you, Doctor. That's a
Have you made friends?
Not really. But I recognize Miss...
You never came to see her here at
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton?
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the...
Why didn't you use your cross against William?
That's a very strange question, Doctor.
Are you a...
Not at all.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually.
You're in good hands here.
Thank you, sir.
What is the general situation?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of...
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show.
Has the gang...
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long.
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the Turtle. I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand. Good.
People are still in...
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drug.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
How did you end up in William?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went...
Why did he...
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed.
You dared to end...
I'm just a man trying to...
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix my face. No.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently...
You guessed right, Doctor.
Where were you stationed?
I really...
No offense.
You were an officer.
How is your stay?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death.
Can I ask you precisely?
It's the pain, sir.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried.
My face hurts so much.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar.
Very well. I have a task.
Please.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed...
And you would like me to eradicate?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her...
Accepted. I'll see... Good evening, miss.
Your name...
I beg your...
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency.
You keep calling me...
Well, Dr. Reed.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft?
Is that not enough for you? Phew.
I'm curious to know who you...
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am.
I see. Have you...
Never.
It's a mental illness.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin...
Please.
I can...
I'm assuming you must be a patient.
It's only a cover. To hide from my...
Who are these enemies you...
I cannot say for sure. But I...
The staff here are not your...
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking...
I see. Don't worry.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are...
Have you heard of...
I have no time for more...
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, Dr.
Dr. Reed.
Have you heard of any
I have no time for such trivia.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr.
He was my patient. He died.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man.
What was the name?
It was a twofold error.
Why not stop practice?
Are you mad? I killed that man. I had...
I will cover for you, Dr. Tippett.
I don't know what to say, actually.
You didn't force me. This is my decision to make. I believe...
Then I can make you this promise.
What will you do after your...
I always fancied visiting Cyprus. Such a beautiful...
Goodbye, Doctor.
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by...
The pleasure is mine.
I hope you're more disposed to answer...
You must have countless questions, but
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your...
These past insufferable weeks...
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you?
Even if it were the case...
What are your expectations?
As the newly appointed surgeon of this
If we're dealing with an...
As immortal...
Please continue. Every
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it.
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know...
What is this?
There's no need for alarm, madam.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am...
How brave.
Harriet Jones. Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on.
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating...
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones,
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the what...
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone...
That's it. Blame the old and infirm.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation...
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans...
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof...
This is your business, Doctor, not mine.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've... The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
This hospital seems to be falling apart.
As for me...
But in the circumstances...
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Have you heard of any...
Blackmail? That's not my style. Too risky. The black market, though.
Do you ever think about that?
The wound he gave me.
What did he want?
I recently had to kill his brother.
Perhaps you're right.
If there must...
That man was determined.
What a surprise.
How is your hospital?
This is a shitty place.
What's wrong?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought...
I see.
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane.
What's wrong with...
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is...
But you're alive, thanks to the efforts and...
What are you expecting, a medal?
How long do you think you can...
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc.
The police may be slow, but they will find you eventually.
Well, how come you didn't turn me in then? Nah.
I'll leave you for now.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. We've taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Relax.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I ought to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do. This must be Clay Cox's knife. A fine blade. No wonder he wants it back.
What sort of creature is this?